welcome back. It is the Vegas Take. Sharp and Shapiro, so glad you could join us. Man, JD, it's just amazing, the college football season creeping up right around the corner. It's nuts. And, of course, that means we look forward to watching some UNLV football games over there at Sam Boyd Stadium. By the way, they will not be playing at Sam Boyd Stadium this in a couple of years. This will be their last year there, so kind of cool. Get to watch some games out there. And like I said, it's right around the corner. And joining us on the line right now, we're very happy to have UNLV head football coach Tony Sanchez. Coach, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
What's up, Coach?
Absolutely, guys. Doing great. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. Good to hear from you again, Coach. It's been a little while. Well, first of all, I know you probably just got off the field, right? Not that long ago. You guys are practicing early. Tell us how's practice has been going the last few weeks or so. How you feeling about where your team's at?
You know what? They've been going really well. We broke camp last Saturday, and then we got into Southern Utah prep this Monday. So excited about that. This is kind of that odd week right now where we got to grind away and get prepared for the game, but we don't get that carrot at the end of the stick like you do every week with game day coming. So, but
Sure.
Our guys are doing a good job being mature and grinding through it, and it's been a really good camp. And I'll tell you what, we got a lot of high expectations for this team, and I think it's by far the most talented and deepest roster we've had since I've been here. So excited about the season.
I would agree about that. I want to ask you this, and I'm sure you've probably been asked this before. Do you feel like it's bowl game or lose with this team? And I understand there's a lot of things that could happen throughout the year, injuries, and obviously the Armani Rogers injury last year. I truly believe you guys make a bowl game last year if he doesn't get hurt. I don't think that's even a question. But, I mean, do you feel this year, not only for your job security, but where the team is at right now, it has to be a bowl game, bowl eligible, or it's not a successful year?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of our expectation now. I think last year we had the last 2 years, we felt got a first down short on a fourth down situation from going to a bowl game 2 years ago. And then last year, it just got unfortunate, had some key injuries and could have played a little bit better. And, thought we had some real opportunity last year. Now going into this year, knock on wood, we'd love to have a year where keep our quarterback healthy. I think the depth in some of the areas is going to help with some of those injuries that inevitably occur in football. A couple of spots are still a little thin, but I think we have the best opportunity we've had to move forward. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think the players or myself or our staff even worries about that kind of stuff. I mean, our whole thing's about preparation, getting ready for the next opponent, making sure we're getting better at all the details. And we've had a tremendous amount of energy this offseason. Our guys have excelled, preparing for the year in the classroom and all those different things that, to take you to be a well-rounded student athlete and help you win championships. And I think we're in position to do that.
Sure, and I understand that. If you're just joining us, UNLV head football coach Tony Sanchez. So how do you prepare when you look at a season, right? I understand you said you're preparing for Southern Utah. I get all that. You take it one game at a time, look at what's in front of you. But with that being said, Coach, when you look at this schedule, when you prepare for a season, do you say to yourself, okay, that's a must-win? Now, listen, you want to win every game. I get that. But do you look at a couple games on the schedule and say, that's a game we have to have? That's a game we have to have. This is going to be a tough one, but we got to get that one. Do you look at a season like that? Do you say things like that?
Well, it's kind of funny. I mean, if you take a step back and you really look at it, you say, okay, going into the year, you have Northwestern and Vanderbilt. Those are games, that you're going to be probably big-time underdogs in. But
Right.
Are they winnable games? Yeah, they're winnable games. We're not playing the lead of the SEC. Now Northwestern played in the Big Ten championship last year, so they're a great football team. So they're really, really good football teams. But we played USC, and we played a tough Michigan team, and we played some really good teams. So there's nothing overwhelming about the schedule. And then when you look at, the Arkansas State game, and that's a 7-point game with a turnover, late in the fourth quarter, we had a lead. And you look at Southern Utah, those are games that I think are really, really important games to get us moving in the right direction. But when you look at the Mountain West, I mean, come on. I mean, if you look at it, who on the schedule can't you beat and who can't beat you? I mean, we've beaten every single team in the Mountain West, other than Colorado State and Boise to this point. I mean, we've beaten Wyoming when they won the championship in the Mountain Division, and we've beaten San Diego State, and then we've also lost games against teams that we probably should have won. So I think the margin in the Mountain West is so small. There's nothing overwhelming about Mountain West schedule. Like 2 years ago when Fresno won it, we were able to go to their place and beat them. So our biggest key is, can you consistently do it? And when you look at what has gotten in the way of us consistently being able to compete at that level and win some of those big games, a lot of it's being injury-free, and that goes into depth. So I think now going into year 5, when you look at the linebacking core and the defensive line, the number of wide receivers and running backs and O-linemen, we're really good there. Still wish we had a little bit more in that secondary as far as depth goes. I think we have some really good guys, but we gotta hopefully stay injury-free there. But when I look at the schedule, I expect us to win a lot of football games.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you mentioned the depth in the secondary. You had the injury bug last year, which was not a good thing, obviously. So Armani Rogers is a predominantly running quarterback, but you return a lot of wide receivers this year, and last year you had more of a running offense. How will the offense change at all with how many wide receivers you return with experience?
It will, and it'll change with Armani, too. We had a great conversation with some of the press yesterday, and, when you look at it, we threw the ball well week 1 against SC, and the next 2 weeks we won handedly, and then we played in a rainstorm. Armani didn't start another game till week 12, and he threw the ball all over the yard against Reno, and he looked fantastic. 4 touchdowns, threw for like almost 300 yards. He looked great. That's the guy that I expected to see the entire year last year. So people don't really have a good barometer on whether, his throwing ability. And I think it's a lot better than people think. So I think we've evolved with him. We've kind of geared things around him. I think the RPO game really suits him. If he can take and translate what he's done in spring ball, go back to that last game against Reno, through spring ball, through fall camp, and if it translates into this fall, I think everyone's going to step back and go, wow, this guy's a much better passer than we gave him credit for.
Who is a surprise newcomer that's freshman, redshirt freshman, or graduate transfer right now?
Well, I tell you what, the freshman, and we'll see how he plays. He's still young and everything, but if camp's an indicator of the player he's going to be, Jacoby Wyndham out of John Ehret High School is unbelievable. He's probably the most, arguably, top 1 or 2 freshmen we've ever brought in since I've been here. This kid's unbelievable. He's gained 20 pounds since he got here. He's grown an inch, and he just turned 18 2 days ago. So, this kid's sky's the limit for him. So him and Gabe McCoy will share that rebel spot. And you'll see him play a bunch. Gabe is out week 1 because he got granted eligibility for that last year. So he has to sit 1 game, though. And Jacoby will start. So I'm excited to see Jacoby and let him roll and let him loose. So he's a good guy. I think Randall Grimes is going to, we've got to get him, coached up, get him understanding, the way to work every single day. But his talent is unbelievable. So I think if he gets it in between the years, he can be a major impact guy. And then Ray, the linebacker that just got cleared to come out, and 5th-year senior graduate transfer out of Florida. He's a physical son of a gun. So excited about him, and I think we have a chance to have a really good team.
If you're just joining us again, UNLV head football coach Tony Sanchez, and the season right around the corner. They open up with Southern Utah. Coach, I want to go back to Armani Rogers for a second because, as we all know, he's a very athletic running quarterback. With that being said, we all know he's a tough kid. He's going to take a lot of hits. First of all, how is his health right now, number one? And number two, have you talked to him about in certain situations you just got to throw the ball away because we need you out there? Because let's call it for what it is. He is a really good quarterback. He's got the experience at this point. He's very athletic. He runs the show for your offense. And while you have some capable backup quarterbacks, let's call it for what it is, you need him out there, right, Coach? So have you had those conversations with him? And, as far as protection, obviously you want to protect your quarterback. We all know he's going to be running the ball, but have you had those talks with him about in certain situations you just have to throw the ball away?
We have. We've talked about it. We've watched film. We've gone back over the last couple of years and showed him instances where, hey, you can slide in this situation. Just tuck out of bounds in this situation, throw the ball away in this situation. And I think if he does that, that's going to take a lot of the wear and tear off him. A couple of years ago, the concussion he had against Utah State, he was, running a linebacker over. I don't know if you need to do that. Last year against, Arkansas State, he's running out of bounds, but, he probably could have slid and, inbounds 4 or 5 yards earlier, already picking up the first down, but instead, he goes and gets those extra 6 yards and just gets smashed out of bounds. And those are the type of things that I think he's really realizing it. So we've seen it in camp. There's some indicators. We tell himself the indicator that you've made the decision to slide, or that you've made the decision, to throw it away, and he's doing that right now. So if that translates and he does that during the fall, I think it gives us a better opportunity to have him out there all the time. But, the hardest thing is what makes him special. It's his ability to extend the play. He's a good passer. Right now he's still evolving as a drop-back passer, but what makes him elite is his ability when things break down to make something happen, or we run some of those RPOs or read zone stuff. He can just gash defenses. We don't want to overdo it, and we also want him to make good decisions.
So you guys start playing at the new Las Vegas, the Allegiant Stadium in 2020, or how soon after it's built does UNLV move from Sam Boyd to the new Allegiant Stadium?
We play week 1 there against Cal Berkeley. So in 2020, our first game of the season is home against Cal. So we're fired up about that.
Do you guys have anything lined up, maybe, besides senior day and all that stuff, for playing the last game at Sam Boyd? Do you guys have anything scheduled for that?
We do. Every single week is a different theme. And, in every game, home game, goes through an era of UNLV football. So there'll be a player from that. For example, the first one that we're doing, I believe it's week 1. Yeah, you got Icky Woods coming representing representing that 10-year span. So it'd be great to have Icky out there. And they're giving their T-shirt gives away each game. I think the last game you get a nice coin that's got Sam Boyd, and it's got the new Allegiant Stadium on it. So it shows kind of where we're moving from and where we're moving to. So that's kind of neat. So yeah, there's definitely going to be a theme each game, and week 1 we got a helmet that has the UN on it. Caused a little. I guess everyone got some hurt feelings up there in the north. We weren't even thinking about them when we did it. That's the helmet we wore the first time we played there. So
I like it.
We got a good laugh about that.
I like it. Well, Coach, let me just say this: you're always so gracious with your time, man. We always appreciate it when you come on our show, and we really hope we're all pulling for you. We hope to kick some butt starting with Southern Utah, and we look forward to having you on again soon. Okay.
I appreciate it, guys. Anytime. It's always good to talk Rebel football.
Love it. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
Yep. Take care, guys.
All right, there you go. Thank you, Coach. He really is so gracious with his time. Anytime, I contact Coach, he's always willing to come on our show, and we always do appreciate that. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I am absolutely pulling for Coach Sanchez and this UNLV football team. I like Coach a lot. I think he's a good guy. But let's call it for what it is. And it was one of my first questions to him. I believe he has to make a bowl game this year. He knows it. Coach is a smart guy. He understands. Regardless of injuries, they have to be bowl eligible this year, or I'm not sure, JD, he is going to be coaching next year here at UNLV.
I think if they win 6 games and they beat a Northwestern or Vanderbilt and they drop a couple and injuries take place, then I think that he'll still be here. But if they go 3-9 or 4-8 or something,
that can't happen.
He's definitely gone.
Yeah.
I think that they're going. I think he sounds very, very confident, much more confident than he did last year.
He really does,
especially in Armani Rogers as a thrower, which is huge because they return 4 wide receivers who all have speed and playmaking experience. Yeah. But the thing that he's going to really, really push to win games, I'm not saying he didn't last year, but when you move to that Allegiant Stadium, it's a whole different ball game for recruiting. Mm-hmm. It changes everything. And,
it could.
And let's be honest, there is year-round sports in Las Vegas, and there's a lot of talent that comes out of here, out of Bishop Gorman, that has never gone to UNLV. We're talking Tate Martell, DeMarco Murray. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
I got to tell you, I love watching college football, particularly in person. And I have no problem driving down to Sam Boyd Stadium to watch those games because I think they're a lot of fun. I really do. So we look forward to that. Coach will be on with us again soon. We're going to take a quick break.
I just love the CC's pizza. I want as much CC's pizza as possible, especially when it's 3 days old.
Nobody knows what you're talking about. But anyway, he's referring to the food that the media serves us, which nobody cares about. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, you're not going to believe this, folks, but guess who's back on the market? That's right, Larry King. 7th divorce. We'll get to the details coming up next. You're not going to believe what his, now ex-wife said to TMZ today. We'll get to that coming up next. You're listening to The Vegas Take on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN.